To make the glue, one of the components you're going to need is charcoal. And this come from when I was collecting pine tar, so I had a little bit left, and you just grind it up. You can use 2 blocks of wood, anything along that line. I happen to have the perfect rocks for it as far as I was concerned, so rocks we're using. This can be done pretty much any way. You can, if you're in an area where you can't get pine resin because there's no pine trees like where I'm at, you can buy it. Although the pine resin that I got, I was up at my mom's and I collected a bit off of her white pine trees. That was probably some of the closest I've got to me. And you, like I said, you can buy it. They have it on Amazon in crystallized form, and all you have to do is follow the process after deriving it out, which will be coming up in the video here pretty soon. Just grind up a bunch of this. What this does in the pine resin will get really hard, really brittle. So this acts to keep it from getting so brittle. It'll give it a little bit of flexibility, which is sometimes necessary in glue. It doesn't affect the waterproofness. It doesn't appear. So it'll still hold. If you're using it to hold arrowheads in or whatever, it'll still hold. And in a lot of cases it actually is better because it takes shock better, so it won't break or flake out as easily. Just grind up a mess of this. With all of today's advancing technology, I'm using 2 rocks to grind charcoal to make pine pitch glue. We haven't traveled so far from where we started as we think. This is Odin's Wolf Survival again, and today we're working on pine pitch glue. I've already got the charcoal ground up. I've got the initial melt, and yes, I'm using a pan. This isn't exactly going to be completely primitive. Doesn't need to be. Actually, around here it's probably a good idea not to be sometimes, because the amount of pine pitch that I actually collected, and I had to go a ways away to get it. We don't have any here. No pine trees, nothing along that line. Found this up at my mom's at with white pines. The initial melt out of the pine sap, that was the junk for fire starter left over. Not really junk, it's going to be useful. This is the pine pitch. In the original pan, I just stuck it in the refrigerator. I cheated so it was nice and hard and it popped out really easy. Out here in the sun, it's getting kind of warm, so it's getting a little bit sticky again. So what we're going to do is we're going to heat it again because it's still got some crap in there. I'm going to melt it down a little bit and then let it run down to the bottom of the pan, let it cool off, pop it back in the refrigerator. I should get some nice clear stuff. Then I'll put it back in and bring it up to heat and mix some charcoal in with it. But while we're doing that, let's get that first or the second melt down. There, now I can see the heat going off the alcohol. There we go. That's the danger. If it gets too hot, it will self-ignite like that. So you're kind of running a I want to thicken just a little bit. Okay, I won't get all the biological out. Just a little bit of pine needles, things along that line. What I'm going to do is start mixing in the charcoal. Some people in the glue will mix in rabbit poo, little fibery stuff. I'm not going to do that in this mix. I've already got a little bit of pine needles in there anyway. Probably getting pretty good. I didn't get a tremendous amount of it, but I got kind of more than I was expecting, to tell you the truth. Okay, then what I'm going to do, this glue's pretty well where I want it. So we're going to keep this kind of liquid. And I'm making a glue stick with this bit of copper. So we'll let it form up and we'll dip it again. Let it form a ball. So it cools. Probably help if I was doing this on a day that wasn't summer in Kansas, where it's hot all the time. But one does when one has the time. Just keep turning it. It'll form up. That's just looking kind of obscene. There we go, that's better. You keep adding layers till you get your glue ball as big as you want it. This will cool and set, and the rest I'll probably let set up and pop it out and make some more later. But it says as this is setting, you can tap it down into a final shape that you like, which would just be something smooth and oval, I think. We'll let that set like that. I had it pretty warm. Yeah, that's about right. I don't want it. I got enough charcoal in it, I can touch it where it don't want to stick to my hands real bad. You can see it's flexible. As it cools off, you want it to where you can push a fingernail in it, but yet a little bit of heat, you can run it off and glue, put it in between like arrowheads and even feathers on a shaft, spearheads, anything that you need glued together. You can even glue your backpack. If you tear it, you can use this to seal it and glue it together. The material, it'll work. You can see it's starting to already harden up. Okay, if you want your glue stick a little bigger, run it in there again, pick up some more. You can keep that process up till you get a ball the size of a softball if you want, if you got enough. But that just makes a glue stick awkward. The idea is to use it to be able to glue things together or waterproof things. Hold stuff together, so you want it where it's usable. Still just a little. There we go. And a little bit of heat will soften it up to where it can be used. Let it cool off and it sets up. That underneath layer is already pretty good. I got charcoal all over me. Had the goth thumbnail there for a minute. There's a glue stick. Pine pitch glue. A little bit left over. That'll get made into another one probably when I get about it.
Smash the subscribe button such as you would your fearsome foe.